What does 1 million euros buy you on the Costa del Sol? Today, we're breaking down the different kind of properties, developments that offer different lifestyles on this beautiful Costa del Sol. We're gonna break it down with 3 true locals. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Let's go. Before we dive into what we have to talk about, I'd like you guys to just take a quick 30 seconds, 1 minute, and introduce yourself to the camera, and then we'll get into talking options. Ian, you can start.
Yeah. Hey, my name is Ian Keating, and I'm a buyer specialist here at High Homes, and I'm from Ireland.
Hello, I'm Nikki. I'm Spanish from Madrid, but I'm living here for more than 10 years now, and I'm a buyer specialist.
Hi, I'm Alvaro. I'm a local from here, and I am a buyer's agent here at High Homes, and I've been a buyer's agent in the Costa del Sol for the last 8 years.
Now, guys, we're going to dive into what 1 million euros buys you on the Costa del Sol, okay? I want it to be quite discussional, so feel free to jump in at any given moment. You know, I want it to be a real debate. I want you guys to really talk about the product, what you believe in, what you think, and all the sort of details that come to mind, right? So let's start with, you know, what 1 million euros buys you on Costa del Sol. So someone that might be watching this video, you know, might have a budget of 500 to 1.1, 1.2, but around the 1 million euros, right? Mm-hmm. Up to 1 million euros. What can you buy on this beautiful coastline? Let's start maybe from Malaga and work ourselves all the way down to Estepona, Casares. Let's start with Malaga. Who wants to go?
So in terms of about Malaga, I would highlight the new area, the west coast of Malaga, where we have new developments coming. And in general, so we have Térmica Beach, we have Octavia, and now we have the new one, Milabeca. Generally, what you can get there for 1 million, I would say, is a 2-bedroom apartment, really, because we're talking about a very expensive area that is going to have an amazing development within the next years. But we have to say that it's a beachfront apartment, amazing qualities, absolutely stunning open views to the sea and the beach right in front of you.
I mean, that area of Malaga has grown massively in the last few years. I mean, you're from Malaga.
Yes.
I mean, that area of Térmica, like it
was
15 years ago, it was
an empty
nothing.
plot.
Exactly.
Empty plot,
And it was all industrial around.
Yeah.
It was all industrial, not looking really good. But yes, it's the last beachfront piece of land in Malaga, and everything started around 2018 with the launch of the Malaga Towers.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been...
You know, I remember that because those towers were launched and loads of people went, nah, I'm not sure if that's going to work. And they sort of exploded, and it turned the entire area into an ultra luxury high location.
Completely.
Yeah.
The
Right.
capital growth of the people that bought in Malaga
Oh,
Towers
it's
at that
Yes.
moment
Yeah.
is
Yes.
incredible.
Yes.
You know, it reminds me of like sort of, you know, that Miami vibe tower, you know,
Yeah.
those really exclusive areas of Miami,
Yeah.
the city urban sort of luxury. That's really what it's turning into with the Malaga Towers, with, you know, Octavia, with Térmica and all these things, right?
Yeah.
When everything is done in, let's say, 5 years, something like that, it's going to be an amazing area.
Yeah, incredible. With the paseo in front,
Yeah.
all the restaurants,
Yeah.
Which is
shops.
being now redone
Yeah, it's gonna be incredible.
by the developers.
Yeah.
There is this agreement with the town hall that the developers need to renew all the Paseo Marítimo,
Yeah.
the new promenade.
All new.
Is going to look amazing.
Which means
Yeah.
you cycle or walk straight into the city.
Yes.
I mean, it's incredible.
So let's just, before we go on to like the next projects, why would someone buy in the area of Térmica? You know, what kind of buyer buys?
I think it's the buyer who wants something really high end and still wants to enjoy the big city life experience, right? It's very different from the buyer who wants to be in other parts of the Costa del Sol. Is someone who wants really the big city life.
But you have to think that now we have a lot of people looking to relocate,
Yeah.
and because of the big companies that are arriving to Malaga, like Google and Vodafone, so there's people looking for a permanent property, residence to stay there, and if the offices, that never happened before in Malaga, because all the local people used to be people working in services, like, you know, they were waiters, nurses, and things like that. But now we have proper business people in the city, and these kind of people, they can afford this kind of property, so they can spend 1 million in a 2-bedroom apartment, and they're looking for that kind of location and high-end quality. So that is a big change for the city of Malaga.
I mean, we met with one of the developer of Octavia about 2 weeks ago, and he was showing us the 2 last penthouses they're finishing. They can go for above 6 million euros.
Yeah.
And like, you know, again, we go back 15 years, you think 6 million euro penthouse in Malaga.
Unthinkable.
But today, like, you know, if you look at the Malaga Sierra Blanca Towers and you look at this, it's incredible. It's unbelievable. Okay, so that's Malaga. So next up will be Torremolinos. Which developments do you want to jump into? Let's say first ones that jump up at that 500 to €1 million mark, even 1.1. Just to get a conversation going.
I mean, we start with Cosmos and One Oak, I think.
Yeah.
Cosmos and One Oak,
beautiful.
same developer,
Same developer.
great design, great qualities.
Yeah, I mean, Cosmos is really beautiful because you've got the natural park in front of it, so nothing
exactly.
can ever be built there.
It's very special.
You've got amazing views, either of the park or even higher, you've got sea views, and you're walking distance.
Yes.
And then One Oak is just beside it. One Oak is nearly completed.
Nearly
Cosmos is
completed.
2028. So, good standard, great location. And I think, it would give a really nice lifestyle. Torremolinos is someone that wants Malaga, but isn't wanting to be in the heart of Malaga, so wants that little edge off. And I think that's a really, really good location for people that want it.
There's really no much more options in Torremolinos apart from that.
Because I mean, Torremolinos was mainly built up back in the 70s,
Yes.
and the 60s, and the 80s.
It's
so like
pretty consolidated.
It was the
consolidated.
first tourist city
Yeah.
in the Costa del Sol
Yeah.
because of the closeness to the airport. Hence, yes.
When we did the Costa del Sol drive-through with the Costa Explorer, when we drove through like Torremolinos, we'll put it on the screen later so people can watch it. Like you see the skyline of Torremolinos and you see the skyline of La Madre and Fuengirola, and you can just see like how much older Torremolinos is compared to the other
Yes.
skylines.
Yeah.
You can just
Yeah.
tell, and then
Yeah.
as you progressively get to Marbella and then ultimately to Estepona, you get sort of a younger sort
Yeah.
of look of buildings, right?
Right.
And the towers start decreasing.
Yeah, precisely. Okay, so Cosmos and Cosmos and
One
One
Oak.
Oak.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next location.
Yeah.
Higuerón and Higuerón. What do you guys want to sort of talk about?
Well, Higuerón area is
Higuerón.
the
Higuerón's got
reference
there's so
here.
much going on.
Because it's
so
in
much.
between Benalmádena and Fuengirola,
Yeah.
so we're just taking both areas together in Higuerón. And for up to 1 million, I mean, you have a lot of options there.
Yeah.
All the developments they can offer you. And in this case, I would say a 3-bedroom apartment
Yeah.
from probably 750,000, something like that, up to 1,500,000 it can be if you're opting for a penthouse. But there's a lot of developments there happening
So-
and coming with that kind of prices.
So favorite development, Ian, in Higuerón.
I love the Cos.
We did a video on the
Yeah,
cost.
we did a video. Yeah, so I do love the Cos. It's incredible. I like the layouts. I do love Carat as well.
I love Carat.
And Oleo. So I'm after mentioning half.
But you
of
said the
Higuerón
three
already.
that I like, so I can't say anything else. That's it, because I love Carat and the coast.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's talk about Carat. I mean, the cost, by the way, if you guys want to check it out, we've got a full video which we'll link above, which
Yeah.
we did with Ian. It just launched last week, so
Yeah.
that's live if you guys want to check it out. Let's talk about Carat, because Carat's been a development that's been really popular among our
Yeah.
clients.
Yeah.
We've sold to clients from all over the world, Polish, Belgium, Swedish,
US,
UK,
yeah.
US, right? All sort of properties, 2 beds, 3 beds, and penthouses,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We've sold quite a lot there. So let's talk about Carat itself. What can you guys tell me?
Location, I think, is the best thing
The
of
views, no?
Carat.
Yeah,
The
the
views.
views and
Location and
location.
views, the combination of location and views, because the thing is that Higuerón is a quite hilly area.
Yes.
So it's true that you're in a very good location because you're very well connected. So you have the Fuengirola train stations, you have the airport quite close. But if you're a little bit high in the Higuerón, you're like, you need a car. You cannot really reach anything by walk. And if you're down, normally you're going to sacrifice the views. The thing is that Carat gives you both things.
Yeah.
It's on the lowest
And that's the
part
thing.
of
Yeah.
Higuerón.
Yeah.
And you
the
still
qualities
have
are
the
pretty
views,
amazing.
and you have the access to everything by walk. So that the qualities and the architecture.
Yeah,
is-
it's a pretty
is-
stunning development.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got Carat, and you mentioned Oleo. Oleo is
Oleo.
just outside.
Just
Higuerón.
outside,
It's
so it
just-
probably doesn't count as Higuerón and more
Yeah.
so Fuengirola,
Yeah.
but it's one of the last plots. Can you look at the plot and you go, that can't be a development, but it's incredible how they're going to shape and design a building there. And they've put thought into everything. They have an elevator that they're putting on the other side of the street, so you can get an elevator down to the beachfront. Obviously, it'll be public access because it's a public road, but just putting those little details in so that anyone in Oleo has that experience.
And Ian, you recently sold a property, a
there.
penthouse there. That's right. Yeah.
The views are spectacular because this is, I won't say first line, but it's pretty much first line. It's incredible, and you've got just panoramic views of the port of Fuengirola and the sea. And for me, seeing that, the view of Fuengirola at nighttime when you've got all the lights and the
Yeah.
movement, it's
That's
really, really
beautiful.
cool. So, I mean, for me, it's a small boutique development, and that's really nice as well. So those are the kind of nice ones in my mind. But to be honest with you, there's so many in Higuerón you could pick. You could be
There's so
here all
much.
day if we kept choosing.
Yeah.
What's your favorite development in Higuerón?
For me, it's Carat as well. So Kian also, okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Don't worry.
Ian took it from me. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Karat.
I would say, yeah, also. I love it. It's on the lowest part, the panoramic views. I love it.
There's been also a lot of movement on the AP, so above the AP7.
Well, yeah, that's a whole different.
There's
Evoke.
loads, yeah. It's
Emerald
Waterfalls.
views,
Waterfalls.
water
It's really
bowl.
nice.
I mean, if you look at the whole Costa del Sol over the last 2 years, 3 years, I think Higuerón, without a doubt, together with Estepona, but especially the Higuerón area, is the area that's undergone most development. Would you guys agree?
100%.
You know what I heard? Someone told me that is the area in the whole Europe with more land movement.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
In the whole Europe, with
Wow.
more land movement because of all the developments and all the construction that is happening there.
But
Should be
soon,
very interesting to.
soon it's going to be finished, no?
Yeah, no,
Because
you
in
think
2 or
that.
3 years.
Every time we say that, and then a new development comes into
Yeah,
our email, and
yeah.
I'm like, what plot is this on?
And you think there's no option for anything else?
There's
Or
like 3 new launches
we have
last
like-
week.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you're like, oh my god, like we've got Organic by
Yeah.
Abu, an amazing new development in Higuerón.
If
Like
it's Abu, it's going to be good.
stunning by Abu. And you were kind of going, where's that going to be? And they brought us the plot, and I'm like, okay, there is more space in Higuerón.
Evoke was launched about a month ago, a month and a half
You've got
as well,
Cala
and it's just
townhouses. I mean,
Yeah.
it just continues. So I love the area because you've got the train. I mean, I'm a big fan of having accessibility, getting to the airport quickly, getting to
Yeah.
Malaga, getting to Fuengirola. So that's a big selling point. And of course, the views and the amenities. I mean, you've got the hotel, you've got the spa, the sports facilities, people that are all relocating. It's a very healthy, wellness-focused type place.
And being it a new area, it looks really good
It
now.
does look
you
really
know,
good.
a lot of
Yeah, it
greenery,
The buildings are well
cycling
maintained.
paths,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
it's
think
very
also like for
nice.
people that that live in Higuerón, you're literally 50 minutes from the airport, 50
Oh,
minutes
it's
from
incredible.
Malaga.
Yeah,
The location
Yeah.
is really
Yeah.
good.
and you have the train line, so
Yeah.
you can take the
Yeah.
train and you're in the airport in
Exactly.
just 20
And
minutes. So.
as Ian mentioned, even though it is a hilly area, this train from the community,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
that's
passes
nice.
by every 10 minutes, you
It's
know,
the best.
it's easy to go to the beach. So really good, really good.
So actually, perfect time to mention, we've literally got an area guide for every single area in the Costa del Sol, but we have an area guide for Higuerón.
This is a great area, guys.
Yeah, it's a really good area guide. So we'll link here if you guys want to, learn more about Higuerón. If you click that link there, you can check out our area guide. We think we did it last year, Okay, so we've looked at Higuerón.
Yeah.
Next jump, let's talk about Fuengirola. Even though
Okay.
Higuerón is a bit of Fuengirola,
Yeah.
Yeah.
would you guys want to talk about, any developments? Well, let's start, Nikki, with you. What's your favorite development at the moment in Fuengirola around the 500 to €1 million mark?
Oh God. Okay. So I think the last launch of Novit Vanguard is something that is going to make a difference in Fuengirola in terms of the architecture, the size of the terraces, the way they designed the development. I think that is gonna bring something different when you're still into the city.
Yeah.
So you're part of the city. You're not high in the Torreblanca in the hills. So, and I really like the kind of architecture that this developer normally do with this kind of developments, like Hun as well. So I would say that they're like refreshing Fuengirola with their architecture. So I like this kind of Vanguard and Lacuna. I would say they are the number one.
It's bringing a new standard to Fuengirola, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this type of product, we didn't see it in Fuengirola until Lacun, for example.
Yeah.
And technically,
You're
that's
right.
Mijas.
Yeah.
For me, Las Lagunas is Fuengirola.
Yeah.
I put everything
Yeah,
in
I
there.
know.
But I know, I get
you're right.
you. Fuengirola is a tough one because there's
Yeah.
such little space to develop, right? I mean,
Yes.
we've got J Tower would have been one of the biggest new developments
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Fuengirola. We've got the new one. I'm not sure if we're allowed to mention it.
Oh, we
coming up.
can actually go for it.
Naven is coming up as well on a
Yeah.
big plot near Los Boliches.
That really is the last plot.
That's it.
That's when you
And that's
when you
gonna
look at
be
that plot
wow.
from exactly.
Like,
Like if you look at
100%.
between Los Pacos and Los Boliches, that plot is the last plot, and it's an amazing development. It's
Yeah.
a really amazing. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's not going to be. It's not a cheap product because
No.
it's something that's quite scarce, right? But going back to this developer that's doing Naven and Vanguard, what I personally like, not sure if you guys agree, is their architecture and design. I think the coast is sick of just white boxes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we all said it at the same
Yeah.
time.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I
We're
mean,
viewing sometimes, and I'm in a new development, and I don't even know where I am because they are all the same.
exactly
They
right.
use the same materials, they use the same colors, it's the same kind of qualities and everything. And when you see something with character,
Boutique,
different,
yeah.
it refreshes you, and it's just like, oh, yeah, this is it. Yeah.
If you look at the Vanguard facade, what I love about the design is they've combined natural stone, right? Which
This
on-
is the
on
new trend. This is beautiful.
natural stone with rugged facades,
Yeah.
with wood on
Yeah.
the terrace ceilings, and then on top of that, a lot of vegetation and greenery.
Yeah.
They're gonna plant pots. So you look at that from the street view, and it's quite organic. It's
Yeah.
soft to the eye.
Yeah.
It's not a white thing that jumps
Yeah.
out at you. It's quite soft, and I think that's quite calming to the eye. Let's see, if
Yeah.
you're sitting down on your
Yeah.
terrace and you've got that sort of organic feel,
Yeah.
it's what makes it different.
And no more white boxes. Now they're
Yeah.
using more natural colors, and the way it's very clever. The way they build and the terraces to maximize the entrance of light,
Like that.
so that the
Yeah.
terraces go like this, and then they. So it's something completely different. And they started with Lacoon. Lacoon is also like
but
that.
they're reducing the need for maintenance as well, because we
Yeah.
see some of the older developments now need to be painted. They're looking a bit tired. It's an eyesore, some of them, the older ones. So at least with these, you're not repainting it every 5 years. Kalima isn't going to affect it, and it still looks beautiful, and it follows a trend, which is really, really nice. So I think it's a statement piece. It's really cool.
So let's drive from Fuengirola into the Mijas area. What
now
developments?
you can mention Lacoon.
Well, to be honest, to his defense, I always talk about Lacoon like if it was Fuengirola.
That's how we
there,
said
right?
it. I mean, it makes sense.
So Mijas area, what would you say, guys?
Mijas, oof.
Actually, let's start with you, Albert. What's your favorite area development in the Mijas area?
I live in Mijas.
Hey, so just a quick interruption. If you're watching this video, first of all, I hope you're enjoying it. We're going to get back to the discussion with the rock stars and the experts in a moment. But I just want to jump on here in case you're interested in knowing more about, the different kind of properties that are currently for sale on Costa del Sol. We have a link below where you're actually able to request a personalized selection from one of the experts themselves. So click below if that could be interesting for you. And now back to the video. Let's go.
So, many areas, no? Maybe we can start with Cerrado del Águila,
Okay.
with the Eagle and Cordia 360.
The
Ian
best.
loves it.
The
views,
the eagle is
views.
I'm obsessed with the Eagle.
Oh.
Yeah.
The views from there are incredible. Incredible. Really two great projects there. And then I would go to the area of El Chaparral.
Yeah.
And I like to divide this into the area of the apartments and the townhouses.
Yeah.
So on the lower part, we have the townhouses, okay? Closer to the sea, within 5 minutes walk, we can talk about evergreen homes, key ready, prices around 700, 750, up to 850.
They only have 3 left now.
Exactly.
Only 3.
It
flew. And then a little bit higher up, we have Soleil, also halfway under construction. Prices starting around 950. Frontline Golf, partial sea views up to 1.4, 1.5 for 4 bedrooms with complete sea views. Really nice. As I said, walking distance to the beach. The location is great because you are 5 minutes drive to La Cala de Mijas, 5 minute drive to Fuengirola, so super close to shopping center, restaurants, everything that you may need. And then on the higher part of El Chaparral, we find a few projects of apartments like The Cove, super popular here.
The Cove was one of our top developments last year. Because it launched, when was it? Launched what month last year?
Last summer, I think.
Yeah, about June,
Yeah.
maybe May or June.
Yeah.
I remember you going to do the video.
1 year from
It was
now.
quite
That's also a
popular.
video you have done.
Yeah, that was quite popular. It was quite
Yeah.
popular development. We sold a lot there because
We
it was 2
sold a lot
phases,
there.
right?
Yeah.
But that entire area is exploded.
The Hippodrome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Blown up.
It's blown
Yeah.
up. Like there was literally there was all this land, vacant land, and these developers have been buying up this land. So we got the Cove, but we also got
Altos de
Valley
Chaparral.
Views.
Chaparral,
Valley Views.
Balance,
Valley
Valley
Views is
Views.
great.
Views
development.
from Taylor Wimpey,
Yeah.
really good project. Smaller,
Well, boutique.
more boutique.
Hippodrome
Salvia.
also.
Hydro.
Savia townhouses.
Savia.
No, there are
Savia.
like 7 or 8 developments in
loads.
that area right now.
If you think about it, the area of El Hippodromo, now they've got because the new road's been done,
The new
right?
road is amazing.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
So with that new road, you can connect from that area to to the La Cala within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Fuengirola,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
great. You
And
just come down
Fuengirola,
by Marbella.
3
exactly.
minutes, really.
Yeah.
3
If
minutes,
you take the new road,
Well, with your
you don't even
driving.
need to go to the A7.
Nikki's driving in 2 minutes.
It's
just a minute
Mine
drive.
10, Nikki's 2.
1.5.
So let's go and let's talk about La Cala de Mijas. So the actual town itself. Let's talk about the most important developments around the town.
Yeah.
I'll jump in with the first one, which I absolutely love, which is Cala Nova Homes.
Yes.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love it.
I think
Great value for money.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you need a car.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, it's not
Yes.
it's not something that's walking distance. It's like Cala Nova Collection, which is one of our popular
Yeah.
developments,
Yeah.
which is now nearly completed.
Yeah.
Right. But Cala Nova Homes. Let's. Who wants to Who wants to talk about it? Ian, you want to go?
Calanova Homes, well, it's an incredible location, amazing views. We know the developer already from Calanova Collection, as you said. So, getting in at villa level for under $1 million is unheard of.
Because that's the average price, like $990, $950. That's
there
the
are
price
some
range.
a little bit over $1 million, but not massively over.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting 4-bedroom villas.
And the views are insane.
The
Insane.
views are incredible.
And it's gated, it's got the pool, it's got amenities as well, which is
Yeah.
quite rare for
Yeah.
a villa townhouse collection that you've got amenities.
Yeah.
So that's a really, really interesting one. Then if you come down a bit, I think you have to mention Vision Hills.
Yeah, I love Vision.
I mean, the views from Vision Hills
That
blew
project
me
is
Yeah,
going to
that's
be
away.
very
when-
special plot. The
Yeah.
last plot with those views
Oh.
and within walking distance to La Cala.
It's incredible.
It's a very
When
good
it's
What's the
finished-
average price? What's the average price in
About
in
650
Yeah.
up to 850
For a two-bed.
For
For
a
a
two-bed.
two-bed.
Yeah.
And there, what we're buying is location and views. That's what we're
Location
buying.
and views, yeah. I mean,
Well,
Royal
the-
Palms
and
the resort-
walkability.
And
the
the
walkability.
resort, is, the resort concept is also going to be
Yeah, they have a
amazing.
clubhouse
The
and-
landscape they're
yeah.
going to have, the clubhouse,
Yeah.
the several swimming pools. I mean, it's going to be something absolutely stunning for La Cala, and it's going to be different from everything apart from Royal Palms. So I would say it's the Royal Palms in the other
that's-
side of La
yeah.
Cala, right?
Royal Palms had La Cala at a
Yeah.
stronghold for
Yes.
a while. Nobody could compete with them.
Yeah.
You're right.
Now there's someone competing
Yes.
with them. But this is the same as Royal Palms. It was really hard to get units in Royal Palms before. I mean, it was impossible to get a viewing because they
Yeah.
were selling so quick.
Yeah.
Same in Vision Hills. I mean, you get a viewing and you don't know when you get to the viewing if they're going to have units available or not because they sell so quickly they have to stop.
Well, I tell you something, it's the right moment now to buy in Vision Hills because in the moment that
They get
they
the
have
license,
been
yeah.
like quiet for
Yeah,
a while,
yeah.
right? And in the price difference between Royal Palms and Vision Hills now is huge.
Yes.
But they will go up,
They
up,
will
up,
reach
up.
that.
So
Yeah.
if you really want to have a great spot in La Cala and in a development like this with this resort concept where you're going to have a lot of amenities,
Yeah.
the moment is now because they didn't start the construction. They're still like waiting. Looks like the developer is going slowly now, but all the people who already secure a property in Vision Hills, they're going to be so happy seeing how the capital growth of that properties are going to be up and up. And now in Royal Palms, 2 bedrooms are gone, so they
Gone,
don't have
nothing.
more, and the 3 bedrooms start at 930,000.
And there's very little left. We're talking like 4 units maybe.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It's nothing.
I
So-
think Royal Palms is the most successful development in Mijas Costa in its
Incredible.
history.
Incredible.
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable, no?
And it was never a cheap
yeah.
development. I
No.
mean, it was never cheap
And every
comparing to all
phase
the
just
others.
went bang, bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang every time. And seeing it come up now, I mean, I was in phase 1 and they've, people have got their keys, they've come in and it's nice to see that it lives up to the vision that they've built,
Yeah.
The gardens are there, the pools are there, the amenities are there. It has a lovely feeling there and you can see in front of you what's happening. It's really, really cool.
So let's change gears. We've done Malaga all the way to La Cala de Mijas. Let's jump into the king of the Costa del Sol, Marbella.
Marbella.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will we start in East Marbella
With
then?
East Marbella,
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. For
Best
me,
bit.
Zoo Elviria.
to Elviria, and then to Los Monteros, no?
Let's
Yeah.
talk about Zoo Marbella. This is a nice, actually, that area where, so let's talk about where Zoo is. Where is Zoo, Ian?
Well, it's in Elviria. You've got Serenity Hills there as well. So there's 2 big developments in that area. I would say it's about 5 minutes driving down to the beach.
Yeah.
5 to 7 minutes, let's
Yeah.
say. It's in a really urban residential area, so it's mainly villas in that area. It's in a really beautiful part of nature in Elviria. And both of these projects, Serenity Hills and Zoo, are going to offer you really amazing views, but really amazing lifestyle and living because you're living in the Marbella postcode, but you're not paying as high as the Marbella prices yet.
Yes.
And there's something that needs to be said about Elviria is that Elviria is really a unique suburb, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at all of East Marbella, you basically starts in Rio Real and it finishes in Cabo Pino,
Yeah.
right? If you look at all the suburbs within East Marbella, Elviria is the only suburb that actually has a center of town, and it actually has a real sort of townish village feeling to it.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Rosario, I mean, I love Rosario, right? But Rosario, literally, you have all these houses.
It's
and
that and the beach.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. In Elviria, like I live in Elviria, and it's a great place to live with kids. You know, for all type of people.
All the commercial area that you have with all the different restaurants.
I really think that within the next, I think Elviria is still undervalued. Really, yeah? I think Elviria is still undervalued. I think in the next 10 years, Elviria is going to appreciate more and more and more. And I had the developer of Serenity Hills, we had a meeting with them, and something he mentioned, which I loved what he said. He said, this mountain area where Serenity Hills Zoo, and there's another development coming up there, he refers to as the future Sierra Blanca of Marbella.
Yeah.
You know?
There is actually a new plan.
Yeah,
there is actually a new plan which has recently been approved for the area of Elviria.
Yep.
Where they are going to build 1,000 properties, so
hotel,
this
everything.
area is going to change completely.
That is stuck to Serenity Hills. So that entire
on the left side of Sioux and
1,800 homes and a luxury hotel.
Yeah,
that's going to bring a lot of value to the area.
Exactly.
A lot. And so I think with Sioux, Serenity Hills, and with this new land which is going to be developed in the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And
with
everything going on in
Altos
de los Monteros, which we can talk about now, and the new Four Seasons also, which has been recently approved as well. I think Marbella East is going to grow a lot.
And the Waldorf Astoria in Marbella. I mean, there's so many luxury brands, and I was just saying to my clients the other day, the only thing it really signifies an area's strength is when a big major hotel brand involves itself. And you don't have 1, 2, 3, but you have 5 or 6 major players buying land and taking land in this site. You know, you've got Brasserie Astoria who are building a beach club on this site. You know, big brands are choosing this side of the coast to do it. So for me, that signals that people see the growth on this site.
But also in that plot that Alvaro was just mentioning, it signals as well that the town hall is unlocking land.
Yeah, that's
right, and that's a big signal, right? So it's the Marbella Town Hall saying, okay, we're going to basically help developers, you know, develop this land, you know, bring in homes to market, bring in more quality to market. I mean, we could see an absolute explosion in East. Actually, that deserves a video of its own. East Marbella.
I think it's off topic, but you've led into it where we're talking about Marbella's announcement about the ghost buildings. You know that these buildings now have to be either developed in a year, or they'll be sold, or they'll be demolished. But all these buildings that are sitting will be gone.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge win.
Remember
because they're quite ugly, some of them.
When we used to say, well, now everything is coming to Estepona because there's no more land in the rest of the coast. We were saying things like this, right? And now we're discovering that we still have a lot of things happening, even in La Cala. Because La Cala, we have all these developments coming, and now we're talking about Marbella East, and we still see that.
Marbella always has had a lot of land, but Marbella has had a lot of urbanistic problems.
Yes.
Right, now it's time. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now it's time. Now it's time that all these, funnily enough, at the same time, are starting to unlock. Which I think for buyers, it's a potential opportunity.
Yes.
You know, especially for the investors or people that want good lifestyle. You know, East Marbella offers a lot of it.
Yeah.
So Zoo, Serenity Hills.
Elviria.
Let's talk about one more development in East Marbella. There's many, by the way. And unfortunately, just a disclaimer for you guys watching this video, it'd be impossible to cover all the developments in the Costa del Sol. So we're just picking.
If you bought with one of us and we haven't mentioned it, it's not.
Precisely. I mean, you know, we try to cover as much as we can.
Exactly.
And we can't cover all developments because it would take too long. But let's just touch on one or two more in East Marbella before we go on to other parts.
But I would say Sierra Residences, which is also in Elviria, and the location for Sierra is really good because you are in lower Elviria, so that makes a difference because it's very difficult to get a development now or a new project in a lower part of Marbella East because there's no option, there's no land. And Sierra, they found the right plot, and it's a beautiful development with very nice qualities, layouts, prices are okay, knowing that it's Marbella and it's the lower part of Iberia.
And on the beach side, we have Estrella del Mar, but it's almost sold out and key ready. But these were also around 1 million, right?
At the beginning, but the last units are close to 2 million.
And then we have Rio Real, which I think is an area that's starting to really come out of, submerged. You've got GS Royal River there now. You've got a lot of other developments that are coming up. But I think Rio Real is seeing an emergence as well, which is really cool.
And Los Monteros, with the lower part, with Soul.
Oh, yeah.
Everything
that's... Soleil, no?
No.
Oh, Sol Marbella.
Sol Marbella.
Santa Clara.
I love Sol
Yeah.
Marbella, by
It's
the way.
almost key ready now, or
There's one-
completely
there's
key
one
ready.
phase.
Depending
phase
on the
left.
phase.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
some apartments around 1 million.
There's a lot of sunrise, sun life, sunset.
Yeah.
There's-
Yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah.
Different prices.
It was a huge project. And Altos de los Monteros, which
That's a
is
whole different
Los
ballgame.
Monteros Heights.
Yeah.
That's it.
And we have Soleil, in Sur. This developer is really, really good, high qualities, great design. And Soleil is about the qualities and the views, right? Because you are on the top of the hill, so the views are incredible. Starting price around 530, okay, for a 2-bedroom, and penthouses around 700-800. And then we have Quintessence, right?
Yeah.
Which is key ready now.
I mean, from all that area, the development I think is the most beautiful is Med Blue.
Med Blue is
Yeah,
It's
Med
got the
Blue,
best
like,
orientation.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It has best
Yes.
orientation, and like I sold one in phase 2 about a year and a half ago to clients of mine from Miami, and I remember my client said to me, I want to have a holiday home, and I just want to be on my terrace on the evenings having a cigar overlooking the Mediterranean. And he found this perfect property, the perfect terrace with the perfect view. And I remember when he signed his title deed and he moved in, he was just so in love with his terrace. The views
Yeah.
are incredible.
I think this is the best area in Marbella if you want great value for money and the best panoramic views.
But you need to know that it's a 10-minute drive. That's
You
the
need
only
to
thing.
drive.
Like,
And
you need to
it's- and
drive.
it's
And it's
a
windy
snake
road.
Yeah.
It's a
road.
There's
windy
only
road.
one other downside is the road does run underneath it, so there can be a minimal road noise as well. So you have to be aware.
For
of that.
quintessence, yeah. But for Med Blue,
not
you
for
won't
yeah,
hear
not
it.
for
Med
the other
Blue, you
ones, but
won't hear it.
for the lower quintessence. Yeah.
But it's a beautiful area.
Yeah, I
It's a
agree.
beautiful
Yeah,
area.
So where do we go now, guys? I mean,
we can't
of
go
course,
too deep into Marbella.
We can't go into Marbella because
there
Marbella,
is
Golden
not
Mile.
much
No.
under 1 million, but we could mention Isla Vela, which is
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
a
not
very
Andalusia.
good project.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
the location is top. It's at the very lowest part of Nueva Andalucía, on the limit with Puerto Banús.
Yeah.
So you are walking distance to Puerto Banús, to the shopping center of Centro Comercial Centro Plaza, with lots of trendy cafes,
yeah.
supermarkets, everything. Isla Vela is super high qualities by developer Gestilar. They are building now. They got the building license in December, so they started building a couple of months ago. Starting price for a 2-bed around 737, up to 1.5, 1.7 for a penthouse with sea views.
Okay, so who's buying in Isla Bella? What kind of clients?
Isla Vela is for someone who wants to be,
Marbella.
in Marbella, close to Puerto Banús, and walking distance.
I have a
to-
lot of
to amenities.
clients interested in Isla Bella, and they're just relocating from other areas in Nueva Andalucía to Isla Bella because they're looking for that location specifically, and they're living in maybe Nine Lions or
Exactly.
place
In
like that,
Aloha,
yeah.
and they just know now about Isla Bella and they're relocating.
I love like 9 Lions in that area, but the
Yeah.
thing is, if you're up there, it takes you 10 minutes to get to Puerto Banús.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
it does.
it's just
It's beautiful up there,
it's
but
stunning.
beautiful.
It's stunning, but like
Beautiful.
it takes you 10 minutes.
But
So like
people get bored about living
traffic.
so isolated and being there and always use the car for everything. They didn't have an option before because Nueva Andalucía was
There
all
wasn't.
built
There was
and
no
It was a villa or
what you
nothing.
have, and now Isabella is there. Isla Bella, sorry, and then you have the avenue, but that's another thing. But
the
Isla
avenue
Bella is
starts
the
at
Not for
$1
this
million,
video.
right?
No.
It's not
Five.
for this video.
That's not for this video.
Avenue is 5.5, right?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
It
This-
started earlier, but now it's gone up.
This
Yeah.
whole street is going to look fantastic.
Yes.
in
Look amazing.
2
Yeah.
years with Isla Bella,
And the
with
avenue.
the townhouses of Celeste, which
Yeah.
are
Oh
now
yeah, not Celeste.
key
Yeah,
ready. Now
yeah.
townhouses going for around 4.5 million, and the avenue detached villas. This is a whole gated community, starting 5.5 up to 11 million.
But,
so
I
this
mean,
whole street
yeah,
is
yeah.
the only street in the lowest part of Nueva Andalucía, with plots,
Yeah.
and now it's going to be finished and it's going to look
Yeah.
great.
I mean, prices per square meter are pretty much Golden Mile prices in certain
Oh,
areas in
100%.
Andalusia, which is
Yeah,
we've got
100%.
developments. Anyway, that's topic for another video.
Yeah.
Let's stick with our
Stay on
budget. Let's stick
topic.
with our
We
budget
need to,
here.
We need to head out a little bit.
Yeah. Where should we go next?
Also Marbella, we have
Oh.
San Pedro with
Okay.
the Salvia.
San Pedro.
Salvia,
That's
yeah.
I mean, San Pedro. We had loads of developments we can talk about.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have Salvia, we have Zinnia, we have Harmonia.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start
Anything
with Salvia. Ian, just break down Salvia for us.
I
There's
mean-
2 phases.
Yeah, 2 phases, close to the beach, really beautiful resort style living, gorgeous designs. I love the way that everything is focused on the interior resort. But the main thing about Salvia is the walkability. I mean, you've got the beach within 3 minutes walk, and then you turn left or right. You know, you go left to Marbella, or you go right. You know, and it's just that paseo for as long as the eye can see. That is what you want. That's what people are going there for. And that area is pretty much built up. You've got Alcántara del Mar as well coming there with apartments and townhouses. But there's not many other new developments in that area because, again, San Pedro is the overflow of what's left remaining plot-wise on the beach side. There are a lot more coming up on the other side of the road, but beach side, it's very limited.
Nikki, what are the sort of buyer profiles, people that are buying with us in San Pedro? What kind of people are they?
Well, I think it's Marbella people. So the thing is that Marbella is now so saturated and it's changing so much and it's becoming a very noisy area sometimes. And San Pedro was always there. And normally people who lived in San Pedro was in San Pedro properly, you know, the village, the city. It was local people that were, you know, that they couldn't afford living in Marbella, but they still work in Marbella area, and the local people used to live in San Pedro, right? But now all the beach side and all the new developments around, there's a lot of people just looking for the Marbella vibe, but not being in the heart of the noise, in the heart of the action of Marbella, I would say. The beach side of San Pedro is just amazing. So the Chiringuitos there and the promenade is beautiful. You can walk from there to Puerto Banús if you want. So I think that San Pedro is like being now a new reference for Marbella buyers.
Correct.
And Puerto Banús is not anymore that big reference that has been forever in Marbella. So there's a specific target for that. And now people who really still knows and loves Marbella, now San Pedro is the new option. Actually, they're starting to call it Marbella West, right? So there are projects coming, and it's still San Pedro, but they just rename the area as Marbella West. And it's where the Grove is, and Upper 101, and this all. There's a new project also with a hotel coming, and new things arriving there, and they're just naming all the area and all those projects like something that is Marbella West.
So let's just take a quick moment. We've talked about Salvia, okay? Let's talk about favorite developments in San Pedro that are not Salvia. Alvaro, what's your favorite development outside Salvia at the moment?
I would say Mare.
Mare.
It's in front of Salvia, and I was recently there. They have 2 penthouses left for 1.450, 4 bedrooms, huge terrace, amazing qualities by Taylor Wimpey. And it was stunning, a stunning property. 4 bedrooms, penthouse, huge terrace with views to La Concha, with views to the sea. As we mentioned, the walkability of this area is fantastic. You just get out of your property, you have cafes, restaurants, the boulevard of San Pedro, the old town, go to the beach. Also within 2 minutes walk to the best gym in the Costa del Sol, which is the IO, which is really good.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And I think this is my favorite project there.
There's something about this developer, Taylor Wimpey, that I absolutely love, and I don't know if you guys agree, but you know exactly what you're buying.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's the one developer, like, there's no surprises with Taylor Wimpey.
But in
really.
a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way.
They deliver what they promise.
Yeah.
You know when you put it in, you're getting it out exactly what you wanted.
Their designs are not wow if we compare with other projects. Like you look at the design. I look at the design at least, and it's like, okay, it's nice, but it's not like wow. But the quality.
They don't take risks like, for example, Salvia.
Yes.
Like Abu, they take big risk, not big risk, but like big design changes. Taylor Wimpey is a bit more conservative.
Cutting edge.
Right?
Functional, I would say.
Functional,
They're very
that's
functional. So they do something that they know everyone is going to like. It's going to work
neutral.
for everyone.
Neutral.
So they're neutral and functional.
But the qualities are really good.
Yeah, the
really
qualities will never fail you.
Yeah.
And the follow up with them, and they're really, really, really professional.
Yeah.
Where's next?
Benavides, maybe, right? Will we go up from San Pedro, or will we keep along the coast?
Not a lot in Benavides, under 1 million, no. Maybe the View Marbella.
You can get some units in the View Marbella.
Yes.
800.
Romero, they have a
Romero
couple
and
as
La
well.
Quinta.
So La Quinta, some options in La Quinta.
Let's talk about, because what I want to do is, let's talk about Real de la Quinta, just for a quick moment, and then we're going to do the new, then we're going to go the new Golden Mile, and we'll finish in West Estepona Casares.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Real de la Quinta. Real de la Quinta is a development we've sold a lot in the last few years.
Yep.
It's the extension or the second phase of La Quinta.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, and it's in its early stages, even though it's been for sale for a while. You know,
Yeah.
if you go up there, it's not a finished sector yet.
No.
Nikki, can you give us a breakdown of what Real de la Quinta is, and then we can talk about, let's say, projects.
Well, I would say that is the area that you have right in between Marbella itself and Benahabis.
Yeah.
So you have, I think it's a very strategic location because you can get out of this noise in Marbella, but you're still close to everything, 5 minutes drive to everything, and not as far as you are if you are like up in Benahabis or if you go to areas like La Sagaleta or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very good option for a property when you're looking for amazing views. The views from Real de la
insane.
Quinta
They're
are
breathtaking.
insane. So you get amazing views with you know, all the golf courses that you have in front of you, the sea, of course, panoramic, completely all Marbella Bay. It's just amazing. The quality of the developments there is really good in general.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's a very strategic area because you need a car, yes, but you are literally 5 minutes away from everything in Marbella.
Yeah.
So, and the views that you have and the qualities. And I think in terms of the quality and the price per value, is quite good, knowing that you're
Yeah.
in Marbella and you're still in La Quinta. So you're surrounded by most of the
It's the
most
concept
beautiful
they're bringing
properties
as
The
well.
around.
The concept
right?
of
Yeah.
I
All
feel
the
like it's another
amenities
Higuerón.
inside.
It's an
Exactly.
Higuerón,
Kind
but
of
a bigger one
in
and
another
a different format
level.
because
Yeah.
you've got the Banyan 3
Yeah.
5-star resort
Yeah.
that's opening there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of high-end villas like Vista Lago and things like that. A lot of plots for villas, so it's a different concept, less density.
Yeah.
But I like the resort concept, the big lake. You know, there's
The
a really
golf
good
course, the
feeling
new
there.
golf course,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
hotel, the restaurant.
Yeah, you don't need to come down because the idea is that you could spend quite a few days happily up there without needing to come down to the coast.
Well, you have your Mercadona there close.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's
they
all
might
you
even
need.
bring one up.
The
Mercadona.
natural surroundings are stunning
That's
Yeah.
with the connection to
Yeah.
Sierra de las Nieves.
Yeah.
So if you are into hiking, into mountain biking,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you just go to the mountain
And you're free.
and you're free.
Let's go straight into New Golden Mile and Estepona, guys.
Yeah.
Top developments at the moment, New Golden Mile, Nikki.
Oh God,
Oh,
you go
that's
to
a tough
Mile. We
one.
have so many options.
Where to start?
Well, we have Solaya, I would say.
Yep.
That's a very good one in the new Golden Mile that makes a difference in terms of the location, the views, and the qualities. I think it's very, very good. So we're talking about Cancelada area, so very, very close to Marbella, and beautiful layouts and a very complete development.
Yeah.
Where prices will be around. So the thing is that in the past, the prices that Estepona was offering were much lower than the prices in the rest of Costa del Sol. But now we're talking that everything is at the same level because also the quality and the level of the developments that are arriving to Estepona, they're completely different from what used to happen in the past. But Solaya, I think, is really, really good one in terms of location, qualities, views, and the reliable developer that is taking care of it. So I would say that that's one of the best when we just start the new Golden Mile and we just leave Marbella behind us.
Ian, what's yours?
I like Royal Park residences. I like the concept behind that, you know, minimal in terms of resort within it because there's a resort that you'll join beside, if that makes sense. So minimal community fees because you're going to go and play tennis, go to the pool and go to everything in the community that they're forming for their other developments. Great location, and I really like that idea. But I mean, I also love Marine Hills,
I was
Balcón
gonna say,
Mediterráneo.
Marine
I stole
Hills.
it, sorry.
Balcón del Mediterráneo is
Balcón
beautiful.
Mediterráneo
I
and
love
Marine
it.
Hills, La Bella, all those
Yeah,
areas
I-
for $1 million. If
Yeah.
you said I have $1 million and I want something there, we can give you a choice. We can really give you an amazing choice.
Yeah.
I personally love Marine Hills. I think the location is fantastic. The developer is very reputable. The qualities, the views, the whole concept really works there. You know, like I couldn't see a better development in that plot. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
and the
right?
show flat just opened, so
Yeah.
now you can actually go and feel
Yeah.
what it's like
Yeah.
there. It's a great location. It really is.
And then Balcón de Mediterráneo is a favorite one for you.
Yeah.
You,
I
you'd be
was
very
gonna
busy
say,
there.
yeah, but this is over the 1 million mark.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be,
Just-
but
just
as
a
we
little.
already
Yeah.
mentioned, Marine Hills, I have to say Balcón because it's an amazing project.
Yes.
They're massive
They're
properties.
Massive,
They are massive.
Massive properties.
Massive. I mean,
Massive inside, massive terraces. The views are beautiful, high ceilings. Yeah, really good project.
I like the idea of the doors
Yeah.
from the floor till
the
the
ceiling.
ceiling.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Now there's more developments
Yeah,
there
starting
is
to
a lot
do
more,
that.
yeah. Marble, natural stone. Yeah, really high qualities. Prices starting around 1.4, 1.450.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But
it's jumped already. Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
change quick, don't they?
Yeah.
I think this is the first project in the area of Selvo, no, for apartments with on this price range.
Where should we go to next? And unfortunately, like, we won't have time to go through, let's say, all the way to Casares. So I think
I
we're
know.
going to have to cap it at West Estepona. And we'll have to come back to Casares in some other video.
Poor
So,
Casares.
for Casares, I mean, you know, by the way, perfect moment to ask you guys, you know, if you do
Yeah.
like this video, to like this video so we know that the right content is coming your way. And comment any area that you would like us to specifically cover or any content that you would like us to discuss
Deep dive.
openly, deep dive with the team, with the rock stars. Okay, so let's choose one for Estepona and one for West Estepona. Let's go Estepona Center and we'll finish on the west. Ian, start with Center Estepona.
You have to remind me of the name of it. It's the amazing
Paraíso
one.
de Azar.
Thank you. Always. I
I
always
read
get
it's
so-
mine.
We're together too much.
Yeah, and
Us blondes stick together. Paraíso de Azar. It's a really beautiful development, town centre, and I'm a big lover of like Andalusian style, keeping that really boutique kind of old style on the outside, charm, but then inside is really modern. You know, it's got, they're not massive units, but you're the town centre of Estepona. That's really hard to get.
it has all the essence and magic
Oh,
of
it's got the
old
quirks.
town
Yeah.
Stepona.
I
you
mean,
know?
there's an elevator you
It's
drive into, and it
beautiful.
brings your car into its parking spot underneath the building because you can't
Oh.
drive in, obviously.
Wow.
But they've still managed to put parking in. And the terraces aren't huge. Some of them even have a private pool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. I mean, you're literally on the side streets, and for me, that's really exciting because when you want Estepona, for me, the Estepona Old Town is the heart of why you want Estepona.
Okay, I'm going to have to jump in here because there's one development I absolutely love in Estepona Center, and that's South Sands.
Oh yeah,
South Sand.
Yeah,
really
South Sands, you know, because it's one of those developments. There's not much availability at the moment, right? There's very little,
No,
very,
very
very
little. 1 or 2
little.
units.
we were there a few weeks
Very-
ago, and there's very little.
Very little, but it's one of those developments that's in a commanding plot in Las Mesas.
Yeah.
Walking distance to everything from the center of Estepona, right? The design's amazing, and I think Aidas is sort of wanting to build their signature, because the first South Bay developments of Aidas weren't that great in terms of quality.
Yeah.
And I think Aidas have been bringing up their game with Libella. You can just tell with Australi, with Zenity, they're trying to bring up their qualities. And I think this last plot of South Sands is going to be their flagship. Like they want to finish in style. So I love South Sands, right? I think it's a unique
really
development.
Good, really good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Really good one.
West Estepona, and we'll finish here.
My favorite there is Idyllic.
Idyllic.
Oh, yeah.
If I had under 1 million,
Because what's the
it's-
price range in Idyllic? 500, let's say.
Now they only have penthouses.
Okay. yeah.
Okay.
But before, I mean, before that's
before
like
I had,
500.
600,
no?
my clients from the UK, they got a 3-bed ground floor for around 480, 500.
Yeah, so that's basically the mark, 500 to a million.
So even if you are in West Estepona, I think this area offers the easy connection to Estepona Center through the wooden path.
Boardwalk, the pathway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I really love this.
You know what I just realized, guys? Because just a disclaimer for people watching this is we're talking about developments that actually have stock and inventory at this moment, right?
Yeah.
I think that another video we could do is talk about signature developments on the Costa del Sol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just thinking about West Estepona. You have the edge there. You know,
yeah,
the
with
edge.
resale available.
And there's exactly so
Yeah.
there's all these signature developments that might not have product by
From
the developer,
Yeah.
but they still are signature developments.
Yes.
Good point. It's a good
You know,
point.
like, so
Yeah.
that's a very good
It's
idea
a
for
good idea.
The
I
famous
like that.
standalone
Yeah.
ones that we all go to.
top 20 developments
Yeah,
Costa
yeah,
del
that's
Sol,
a great-
Yeah.
regardless of what's for sale. Like there might be nothing available.
That's a great point.
But the ones that we know are absolutely
Yeah.
unique.
Signature ones. The
'Cause
ones
I mean,
that
I
like that.
made it
The high
change
home
and
signature selection. I
That's
Yeah.
it.
I like that.
That sticks. That sticks. Okay, we've got time for one more. Nikki, Ian, who wants to jump in and just give us one last option in West Estepona.
West Estepona.
You go
Come
first.
on, read your mind.
You go first.
Which one you're thinking about? Alto Oasis, I'm thinking.
I was going to say Alto Oasis.
Yeah,
as well.
really?
Yeah.
I really think it's something different from all the rest, and I like things that are different.
And
So
they're very good value for money.
absolutely.
Yeah, well under the million. Well under
Yeah,
the million.
well, yeah, 500, and now the most expensive ones are in 580,
Just at the edge of, yeah.
but the ones with the solarium and everything. But they're amazing, beautiful townhouses. They're so, I mean, it used to be a development that was never finished, and because it comes from that time at 2008 or something like that, when the developer went into bankruptcy and everything. But now the new developer took this to this project and finished it, and it has that Mediterranean, beautiful Andalusian charm. Yeah. I love it when I'm driving with clients in my car, and then I'm arriving there, and you see it at the very end, and it's oh my God, it's so beautiful. Yeah. And then you get into the townhouses, and the layout and the qualities is really good. And you're in you know, Valle Romano, Azata Golf area, literally 7 minutes drive to Estepona city. But you get the sea views, the golf views, you have an amazing and beautiful townhouse, and the price is just crazy because you cannot get a townhouse new price, in a gated community like this with the sea views and the golf and everything for 500,000 euros anywhere anymore.
You know what? There's just so much to cover.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to talk about Cortesin now.
Yeah.
You know? You know, there's still no time, you know? I was talking about, you know, even the developments that are going on in Soto Grande. There's just so much going on, guys. But unfortunately, there's not enough time today. So we're going to have to leave it at this and actually send the message back to you guys. You know, I think to wrap up, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, if you have any questions for Ian, for Nikki, for Alvaro, or for myself, comment those below. We'll be really happy to get back to you. And if it's the first time that you come across our High Homes content and you're interested in, you know, Spanish real estate, Costa del Sol lifestyle, Costa del Sol real estate, don't be shy and press that subscribe button. Until next time, guys. Hasta luego.
Bye.